What is up guys, Smallishbeans here and welcome to a new video. Now you may be wondering, Joel, that doesn't look like you. Well, that's because I'm playing on Pocket Edition at the moment, so this is me on my phone here just walking around having a grand old time. Woo! Now today I'm going to be showing you 5 cool houses to build on Minecraft Pocket Edition. And I'm going to be showing a couple of perspectives of what this looks like. So I've got myself on PC here and myself on Pocket Edition here. So let's get into it. Starting off with a cute cottage. This is a very simple, easy build that I have built many a times, different variations in different ways on Minecraft, but this is the first time I've ever built anything really in Pocket Edition. I've never used it before. My thumbs are bigger than I thought. I was struggling to place blocks because how chubby my thumbs were. I got used to it eventually, however, and we got building this adorable little cottage. I build a lot of buildings kind of similar to this in other versions of Minecraft, so wasn't going too far out my comfort zone here. I find that when people come to build stuff on Minecraft, whatever version it is, they always build way too big and you end up having this massive house which you can never fill up with stuff and it's always empty in certain sections. So I always like to build something small like a cottage like this, then it's nice and cozy and you don't have to worry about filling it up with a chest room with about 500 chests in it that you don't use. So this took me about an hour and a half total to build. Remember that this is my first time building in Pocket Edition, so my future builds didn't take as long as this one. But it's a very straightforward build and you can do many variations. You can add another floor, you can make it longer, wider, whatever you want to do. But I just decided to go for something cute and small for the first build. And if you want to build something like this yourself, feel free to go ahead. The reason I'm doing this video is that you can get some inspiration to add into your survival world or even just to make some stuff on creative. All these builds are very straightforward and easy and nothing too complex or nothing too huge. And I didn't really record any gameplay audio of me building this as it just took so long and I was watching a movie, but I got a little bit of audio here for you. Placing stairs in Minecraft Pocket Edition is not fun. Dun 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 dun. Oh, no. Dun. As you can see, I was going a bit doolally there. That's because placing stairs in any version of Minecraft can make anyone crazy, especially when you've got nothing to place it on other than air. But here you can see that I'm decorating the house now, adding some texture to it. I'm trying to sound professional, but I'm really not. Basically, I'm just adding some windowsills, some flower pots. I feel like adding these sort of little things is what makes these like builds look really natural and nice. It just makes it look really cool. Like, I don't know why I said natural and nice. That's not words that I'd ever normally use. So my one big tip for builds like this is only use one type of wood for the walls and maybe another type of wood for the floor. And here you can see the final design. Very cute little cottage. Next up, we have the townhouse. Now this would look really cool in a massive row of these, and they're all different slightly, but kind of similar at the same time, because as you'll see in a second, this house has got no windows on the side of it. Instead, it's just got windows at the front or back. And I took some inspiration from just a British terrace house, or maybe like even a New York style terraced house that they have there, although they're a bit bigger in New York. We only have the little ones in England. And I went for brick for this house, using stone bricks as the texture and wood for the roof. I always try to use different blocks for each different bit, and the bits are the roof, the wall, and the texturing. Normally there's only 3, often you'll have extra, and also the flooring, forgot to mention that one, which will also be a different type of colour normally. As you can see here, I am building a little window into the roof. That's because you could add a 3rd floor onto this house and not waste all that valuable space you have in the roof. And maybe put something up here that you don't use very often, like, I don't know, an enchanting table or something like that. One of the main things that I found took a long time while building these builds was just placing loads of blocks in a row. I felt like it just was so tricky because you have to move with one hand and place the blocks with your finger on the other hand, and I was just not very good at it. I presume lots of you guys who are watching this who have Pocket Edition and played it a lot longer than me will be very skilled in that area, whereas I'm not so much skilled. But as you can see here, I'm starting to add the texture in. We've got some glass, and I'm adding like a little flower bed at the bottom here, a little tiny wee small garden, as well as these window baskets, which I'm just using trapdoors on a grass block to make them look really cool. Also some little window bits on the top, I don't know what they're called, they're not called windowsills, and some flowers as well, just to make everything look pretty. And I did the same on the back too. Got different windows on each side. That's one thing I'll always say, symmetry is not always a great thing. Often it is, but often try to use different windows, as if you will look at any house, none of them will have symmetrical windows, and I think if you don't do that, it makes the house look more natural. So here is the townhouse, nice and finished, nice and decorated, very straightforward once again. None of these builds are particularly difficult. So let's move on to our next house. Next up, we have the Nature Manor, which is my way of saying a house that is a bit overgrown and not so clean, but more just mossy and dirty. Dirty? That's probably not the right word, but just like overgrown, vines, cobble, mossy cobble, like leaves and stuff you'll see I'll use for the roof later. And for this house, I went for a bit of a weird shape, as you can see here. It's not exactly square, it's not exactly even, it doesn't really match. And I also added an extra story on one side, but kept one of the sides just a single story, because mixing and matching like that I find makes houses look more natural. I sound like I'm like really professional, when in fact, I was just building on Minecraft on my phone. I mean, none of this is professional really, at all. But as you can see here, lots of moss. I'm also using green windows to give it that extra nature look, although it doesn't really look that naturey. And as you can see here, I'm placing a load of logs down so I can put some leaves on to put like a leafy roof. I feel like this sort of roof can look really cool. I used it in my One Life house in season 1, and I thought it looked really cool, so I thought I'd do a similar build here today. And the great thing about building houses like this is that you can just be a bit sloppy, you can be a bit messy, you don't need everything to be symmetrical or be like matching on one side and the other side, because you just randomly place in blocks. That's what I was doing most of the time, is just clicking with my finger, spamming blocks all over the place on these roof bits here, and just trying to make it look natural, because if you try too hard to make it look natural, you'll often find that it has the opposite effect. So you just gotta kind of randomize it and just not think while you're placing these blocks. But of course, once again, added the windowsills, because every house needs windowsills, and some little plant pots as well with some trees in. And you can see here the final idea, and it looks pretty cool, I think. Next up, we have the modern house. Now, this is a weird one to build. I've never really built anything like this, but I really like how it turned out. This is the sort of house you'd see in like Los Angeles, I feel like, although probably nothing like this, because this is like very open planned, lots of windows, lots of just bright colors. So I'm using white and yellow and red here. I also did lots of experimenting with this. As you can see, I'm destroying stuff and adding random things onto it. And in comparison to the other houses, this one is very square, very symmetrical, no like staircase roof, so it's very easy to build, although this did take probably the longest out of all the builds, just because I've never built anything like this before, and I felt weird building it, to be honest. But honestly, after building this, this probably was my favourite house out of the 5 that I built. It's nothing like I normally build. There's no roofs, there's no window sills. Instead, it's just really like modern, really simple, and it just really works. It's like really effective how it looks. Also, I did a little bit of a garden for this one, which I didn't do for any of the other houses, but I felt like this one needed something a little bit extra on the outside, as it looked a bit weird with no garden. And you can do like modern style gardens as well. You can do gardens to match your house. So with the overgrown house, you can do like a really crazy, just trees everywhere, like a little pond maybe, or you can do a modern style garden like I did here, this nice little water bit, and then just some flowers out front. And I feel like it was really effective. As you can see here in the final photos, it looked really cool. For the final house of the day, we have the big old castle. Now, this one is a bigger build to the other ones. I started building out of quartz, changed my mind to stone very quickly. This is what I was talking about earlier. These sort of builds are really big and you don't know what to put inside them, but I thought I'd give an example of a cool castle that you could build anyway. And the good thing about castles is that you can literally just go wild and make them look ever so different. You can add turrets, you can add towers, you can have whatever you want. As you can see, I went for a massive turret in the middle and then put some towers around the outside. You can put a wall around it, you can put a moat, you can do whatever you want. They're really customizable, but I'm just showing you a basic one, and you can hopefully take some inspiration from this and build your own castles in the future. Now, this castle is very basic because I decided I didn't want to do too much, decorate the inside and stuff like that. Instead, I was just going to do it simple just to give you guys an idea, and also because I'd been building for 8 hours at this point on Minecraft Pocket Edition, and yeah, also my recording failed, so as you can see, the final castle looks pretty cool, but could be improved, and you guys can go wild with this stuff. So there you have it, guys. There are 5 very simple, very easy houses to build in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Feel free to tweet at me or message me with some adaptations you've done to these houses, or if you think you can do better, let me know in those comments down below. And make sure to leave a like on this video if you did enjoy it. And I shall see you another time. Goodbye. Woo!